We do want to bring in NewsNation correspondent-at-large and renowned journalist, of course, Geraldo Rivera. Geraldo, good to see you.
Hi, Natasha. How are you?
I want to know what is going through your mind tonight. What are you most concerned about now?
My biggest concern right now is where is the 880 pounds of highly enriched uranium that we're powering, or that was the object of this whole operation. They spotted trucks there the day before and hours before. Did they spirit away the 880 pounds of highly enriched uranium, which would be the biggest treasure on Earth right now in terms of its potential to make 9 or 10 atomic weapons? So I would be very concerned, Natasha, with tracking down exactly where that is. The IAEA saw it 2 weeks ago, but there was a lot, you remember, a lot of feigning and threatening, and then 2 weeks from the president, and then, days, and then all of a sudden, of course, the sudden attack, the triumphant attack on the facility. But did they leave behind the uranium? David Sanger has a great piece in the New York Times that indicates that maybe it is under the pillow of the Ayatollah. I'm joking, a macabre joke, but they are said to have it. Where is it? Is it true that they took it out before we hit that place? That, to me, is the nightmare scenario that I would be working through.
I see that we may believe that these sites are obliterated, but the uranium has been moved before we even made it there. I want to ask you about the potential for retaliation here, because we hear President Trump saying, quote, "now is the time for peace." From your perspective, do you believe this kind of strike can be the bridge to peace, or is it a major escalation that will provoke retaliation from Iran?
I think it's going to be tit for tat for a while. I think the Iranians are really, really angry. They think that the Americans jacked them around. Said the president saying, wait 2 weeks and then hitting less than 48 hours later. Obviously we've got plenty of anger directed toward the Iranians. I covered the 1983 Marine barracks terrorist attack funded by Iran in Beirut, Lebanon. So we've got plenty to be angry at them about. They have their own beef now with us, the great Satan and so forth. I think that will be Operation Midnight Hammer is going to be a hammer and a nail for a while, Natasha.
And let's talk about the potential for regime change. Trump's suggesting Iran could have one. If there is regime change, how does the U.S. ensure stability in the region, given our track record with regime change in other countries?
Well, the experience in Iraq could be a very vivid and lucid reminder of how difficult it is. We went in there looking for weapons of mass destruction, but also to topple Saddam Hussein. We did, and ended up with a ferocious, deadly, bloody civil war. The regime change that came in Iraq was very unsatisfactory. The government that's in there was patsy with Iran. That's why I worry about these big kinetic operations, because you never know where they are going to end up. You never know what the end of the story, the final chapter is going to be, and how many chapters there will be. How many tit for tats will there be? I know that Israel hit pretty hard again today, and then received some incoming from Iran. I believe that this has a ways to go yet, Natasha.
Yeah, following up on that, Geraldo, is there a risk that we're entering another forever war? Are you concerned about that?
I am definitely, and that was my big concern going in, that it was going to be another one of those. It's easy when you're filled with adrenaline and look how cool the B-2 looks, and no one else can match it, and and it was a flawless operation. We didn't lose any aircraft, and our pilots made it. They took off on time. They rallied, and 125 aircraft, the nuclear submarine, the carrier groups, and so forth. It's easy to get seduced by the hardware, so to speak, but the problem is when you're dealing with humanity, especially when you have two systems as different as ours and Iran's. I mean, they're the 180 degrees from America. Remember, there was a Kurdish woman that they imprisoned and beat to death because she didn't cover her head. They are, in some ways very, very different than us. I believe there's a lot of hatred, a lot of suspicion. Nothing that's happened in the last so long has changed anything in terms of making us more open to the other side, so to speak. The president, I believe, can keep making the sounds of let's negotiate or let's get together or do it however subtly they want to do it with Witkoff or Secretary Rubio. But it's going to be a rough patch. I think and I don't know. I'm not a national security expert, but it would seem to me that the biggest vulnerability right now is the Strait of Hormuz. If they close that, just 21 miles wide, 1/5 of the world's oil production goes through those straits, through that narrow opening between the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean. Yeah. If they close that, I think oil could be $120 a barrel tomorrow. And you could be paying $4 or $5 a gallon for gas again. I think that's where the rubber will hit the road initially. Yeah. And that's hoping that there's not really another violent episode. And
right, and that's impact not just in the abstract, but impact that Americans will feel and very soon. I always appreciate speaking with you and wanted to pick your brain last night as this was happening. I really appreciate you coming on, as always. Geraldo Rivera, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.